Okay. And then, so the air conditioning systems should be able to not just like recycle the, you know, it's not just like moving the air around inside the box.
Yes.
You know, you have to.
Yes, that's what we discussed for the new Bantai Bata building today. That ideally you would have, for an office building or an office floor, you have one air conditioning system that constantly, as it cools the air, also cleans the air. And for that you can have, you know, an electrostatic filter that takes out the dust, a carbon filter, maybe a pre-filter. So at least these three filters that filter the air. Otherwise, all the dust that's ever produced, all the germs that are ever produced, get stuck in the system.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm not so sure about here, but in Australia, where it's not quite as hot, we take outside air in that we also filter.
You take in outside air
into the building,
into the building,
just to have fresh air.
Okay.
And if that's not possible, like we discussed next door, is to put water fountains, for example, and broadleaf plants. They give us oxygen and they filter the air. Water fountains enliven things. They also create a beautiful atmosphere.
Right. Okay.
So all these things feed into creating an office climate that supports people's health and not drains them, you know, and they crawl home after work.
Yeah, drains is the key word.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like aerating. I remember that, you know, when you want to clean something, you aerate it.
Yes,
my mom would tell
that's
me.
right.
Bring it outside
Yes.
of the house and expose it to the sun and the elements. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What about lighting in the office? So here in the studio you have lights, but I mean it's not like this in any regular office. But we have lights all over fluorescent or whatever.
That's a very difficult issue. Because there's sometimes in building biology, you have to excuse me, there's the theory and the practice, and there's a big gap. And so I can give you the theory, which is to avoid fluorescent lights or have fluorescent lights that cost an absolute fortune, and I have never installed them myself, to be honest, that have a full spectrum light, that emit a full spectrum light. And not just that little blue, whitish, sort of strange light that they emit. Plus, they flicker, because it's an ignited gas. 50 or 60 times a second it gets ignited. And, you know, especially when they start up, you can perceive the flicker, and many people react unconsciously to the flicker, not just the quality of the light. And you can add flicker accelerators in, so we don't find it, that doesn't affect our nervous systems. They've done it in schools with children who are difficult to educate, hyperactive children. And they found by getting rid of the fluorescent lights, they calmed down and they were much easier to handle.
Or let the kids go out.
So for offices, that's, you know, all offices all over the world have fluorescent lights.
Okay. And of course, when you have a healthy office environment, the way you described it, the benefits are immense, I suppose.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's why my work is so enjoyable. If I hear that, you know, it's so much better. And I often have clients who have high-pressure business, creative, graphic design, you know, where things have to happen to deadlines, and people are working really hard. And to make it easier for them is just really... And the business owners are very pleased because they have more relaxed, more creative, more productive, less sick days. You know, there are buildings that are really sick, and in Sydney we call it sick building syndrome.
Sick building syndrome, huh? Okay. And of course if you have a sick building, then you have sick employees.
You have sick employees, and with a really small investment, you heal the house, you heal the people.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was the myth for so long, you know, when the idea about living healthily started to get very popular. You know, people say, oh, that's going to be expensive, and it's not.
No.
Not at all.
No.
It's even cheaper.
That's right. And I often say, you know, like fixing something up or making something more livable, that's a cost. It's not always for free, but it's a cost. But how much does it cost to pay all the doctor's bill afterwards. And it's
Right.
not just the doctor's bill, it's your quality of life.
Right.
And your future and your children's future.
Okay. Before we go to break, Joachim, you said also that you're here for a talk, right? You're going to be giving a talk. Is
Yes.
it open to the public, or
Yes.
when is this, and how do people...
That's tonight at the Rockwell Center.
Rockwell Center, where there? You're not sure yet. We'll get
We have
the
to ask
details.
someone who knows.
Okay,
I'm
and
just
do
being
people have to
guided
pay to
around.
hear you, or they can just get in for free, or what is the...
We have to tell
We'll get
that
the
after
details.
the break.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll go to break. We'll read all your questions and comments after the break, like I said. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Stay with us.